On 145th Street, time didn't move forward. It piled up. Old flyers layered over newer ones. Gum hardened into black scars on the sidewalk. Buildings leaned inward like they were tired of standing. And at the corner, wedged between a closed-down beauty supply and a liquor store with barred windows, stood Ms. Moe's shop. No sign, no hours. Just a narrow storefront with fogged glass and a bell that rang even when no one touched it. People called it a botanica. Others said pawn shop. Some said witch house. Nobody ever agreed, but everyone knew one thing. You didn't steal from Ms. Moe. You didn't stare too long. And you didn't ask questions if she knew your name before you said it. Ms. Moe had lived on 145th longer than most of the buildings had stood. Folks said she came up from New Orleans in the 70s. Others swore Haiti. A few old-timers whispered she was born in Harlem before the fire riots, before the numbers changed. She was small, always wrapped in dark shawls, her hair hidden under scarves that smelled faintly of smoke and oil. Her eyes were the color of weak coffee, clouded, watchful, heavy with things she never said. They said she used to be a nurse, back when her hands healed instead of cursed. Then her son was murdered, shot 5 times outside the bodega on Lenox. Broad daylight, wrong jacket, wrong corner, no justice, no trial, no apology. After that, Ms. Moe stopped smiling. She boarded up half the shop windows. Candles appeared where medicine used to be. Jars lined the shelves, some full of herbs, some full of teeth, some full of things that looked like they might move if you stared long enough. She started selling items that weren't listed anywhere. Candles that burned blue, even in daylight. Powders that erased people from photographs. Charms that made enemies forget your name. And curses if you paid enough. Nobody knew what she charged. Money, yes. But sometimes hair, sometimes blood. Sometimes secrets whispered into jars and sealed with wax. The neighborhood learned to mind its business, except Tyrick. Tyrick was 17 and fearless, in the way only boys who hadn't been broken yet could be. He was tall, loud, always laughing, known for pranks, known for stealing things just to prove he could. He walked into Ms. Moe's shop one afternoon on a dare. The bell rang, though he never touched it. The air inside was thick, hot with incense, and something metallic underneath. Candles flickered, though no windows were open. A radio played gospel softly from somewhere behind the shelves, warped and slow. Ms. Moe stood behind the counter, back turned. Tarek wandered the aisles, filming on his phone, whispering jokes, zooming in on statues, saints with cracked faces, African deities carved from dark wood, dolls stitched with hair that looked real. Then he saw it. A small statue, no bigger than his hand. A twisted figure crouched low, face hidden, arms wrapped around its knees. It felt warm when he touched it. He slipped it into his hoodie pocket. The bell rang again as he left. That night, Tarek posted the statue on Instagram. Stole this voodoo thing from the witch store. Comments rolled in. Laughing emojis. Fire emojis. Someone warned him in the replies. Bro, take that back. Tarek laughed and went to sleep. The next day, Ms. Moe walked up to him, outside the basketball courts. No one saw her approach. 1 second she wasn't there. The next, she was standing inches away. Her eyes were cloudy like cataracts, but locked directly on his. She leaned in close, breath smelling of smoke and earth. You got 7 days, boy. Her voice wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. Tarek laughed it off in front of his friends. But that night, he woke to a knock on the window. Soft, polite, tap. His room was dark, streetlight leaking through the blinds. Then he saw him, Jamal, his cousin, dead 5 months, shot during a dice game gone wrong. Jamal stood outside the window on the fire escape, face pale, eyes too wide. His lips moved, forming words Tarek couldn't hear. Tap, 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 Tarek screamed. By morning, the window was clean. No footprints, no body. Night after night, things escalated. On the second night, blood dripped from the ceiling, just a drop at first, then another, thick and dark, splattering on the floor. On the third night, roaches poured from the walls, hundreds of them, crawling, swarming, arranging themselves into words. Return it. On the fourth night, he heard crying from under his bed. On the fifth night, he woke buried in dirt, bones pressed against his legs, teeth near his pillow, fingers tangled in the sheets. By the sixth night, Tarek hadn't slept. His mother thought he was tweaking, thought he was on something. Shook him, yelled, cried. He tried to return the statue, but Ms. Mo's shop was closed, windows blacked out, door sealed with red wax. On the seventh night, Tarek ran into the street, screaming her name, begging. No one answered. The street lights flickered, the bell rang. The next morning, his apartment was empty. Sheets ripped, closet door torn off the hinge. No sign of a struggle, no blood. Only one thing was missing, Tarek. And on Ms. Mo's shop window sat a new jar, glass thick, sealed with wax, something glowing faintly red inside. A paper label taped neatly to the front. Tarek. The shop opened again the next day, and the neighborhood learned a new rule. Don't steal from Ms. Mo, because she never takes more than she's owed.